where you say sexual content, and whoever spits out the water, if you spit out the water, you lose. But if you keep it in the whole time, you win. Okay, here we go. And by the way,
this is our 3rd time recording.
Frickin' crap. Okay. These are One Direction Imagines, by the way, just tell you. Okay.
What was it? I gulped. I gulped as I lay back on the bed, only to have him hover over me again, holding his weight up by placing his forearms on either side of my petite body. Baby, no! I wrapped my arms around him on instinct and started to make out again, moving my lips against him hungrily. Harry, I moaned as his eyes were led to my upper parts while he gently massaged them. He then took one of my nipples in his mouth while he rolled the hardened nub of the other with his free hand. He gently nipped the skin, following by a swipe of his tongue to ease the pain as he moved to the neck, giving it the same treatment, after which he started leaving open mouth kisses in the valley between my breasts, trailing down painfully, slow but simultaneously getting me wetter every second. Just as he reached the waistband of my thong, Harry hooked his thumbs into it and pulled it off my body in record time, and it was surprising he didn't tear it. Given the amount of anger Harry carried at the moment, he spread my legs for him to have a beautiful view of my dripping wet floor, and straight plunged for it, not wasting time in teasing. He put my foot in his mouth like I'm gonna be wet walking home tonight.
Okay, keep it going. Okay. His grip on me tightened, and honestly it hurt more than a little. Before I could think of anything, he ducked down and kissed me long and hard. I melted into the kiss, only to have him pull back. However, he took my bottom lip between his teeth, tugging it a little before it snapped back to its original position. Then he took my suitcase from my hands and threw it somewhere behind him in the room, and not wanting to take my eyes off him, I didn't bother where it landed. "You're not going anywhere," he said darkly, to have me nod in return. Now stripped for me, I obeyed immediately, not wanting to push the indivisible, scary, dominant side of his. I started with the buttons on my blouse, working my way extremely slow. By the time I had the buttons on, Liam had his member out of his boxers. His eyes followed every movement of mine while his hand worked in the rhythm. He moved it up and down, twisting and squeezing at the right places. His timely groans and hisses making me wet. I slipped the soft fabric over my body while swaying my hips seductively. Once done, I gave him a full view of my lacy underpants, which I had no intention of removing anytime soon. "Good, now to get that off too," he said, pointing towards my bra. "No," was my simple reply. "Do as I say," said Liam angrily. "Otherwise, do you know what happens to bad girls? How about you tell me?" And before I knew it, he was off the bed till he pushed me into it face first. He came to straddle me just above the curve of my hips, keeping all weight off me. Since he had my back face towards him, he quickly uncrossed my bra and threw it behind him restlessly. "I definitely am," spoke an annoying Liam, "and you'll be shouting my name while I do it." Once my upper lady parts were revealed to him, he flipped me over and kissed me. His hands fell to my face to grab my wrist and pin it over my head. "You're not allowed to moan or touch me tonight. Am I clear?" I bit my bottom lip and nodded seductively. "Am I clear?" He glared at me, looking for an answer that simply could not provide. "Yes, sir, that's right." And he then lowered his body so he was at eye level with the waistband of my panties, leaving open mouth kisses as he trailed. He yanked them off my petite body in a second, and he had completely and willingly exposed to him. Without giving me a warning, he dug 2 fingers into me, stretching me to my maximum. What the fuck?
video of some guy sticking his head in some chick's vagina. Ew! That's what it reminded me of. I was like, what the? Just kidding.
Holy crap, my
Starting at the very top.
yeah, my toes are freezing.
To get all the anger out of you, Lewis spoke, noticing that because of all the pleasure she forgot to ask him about his plans. She looked up at him, pupils dilated at the choice of his words. Lewis was never the one for dirty talks, even at times when he tried to be rough and dominant. She lurched forward to ball up a massive amount of his hair in her fist and kiss him hard. Taking this as an approval, Lewis latched his long and talented fingers in her dyed black hair as she started to lay on top of her to have her at his mercy. He trailed a wet kiss from her lips to her flushed cheeks, drawing back a little. He looked into her blue eyes that showed nothing but love. Blonde looks so much better on you, he said with his lips so close to her that she could feel the movement that followed every syllable. Shut up, she growled, causing him to decide to not speak any farther and resume their angry love. Fuck me. He drew his face towards her chest as he took one of their nipples in his mouth, giving it harsh sucks, followed by a swipe of his tongue and a cold blow of hair. He had her writhing in ecstasy. Let's just skip the foreplay. He proceeded to rip his white Vans t-shirt off his body, giving her full visual access to his chest tattoos. Somehow they managed to turn her on every time, even now, when she was angry at him but also horny, or eager as Lewis calls for him. She looped her thin fingers around his neck to pull him back to her and attached her lip to his again. Their tongues danced in their mouths as they favored each other like there was no tomorrow. As they made out for another few minutes, that seemed like an eternity. Lewis pulled back to release his much-awaited girth, shielded by the thick fabric of his ankle-length jeans. The aggravation that once lined Heather's beautiful feathers now reflected pure lust. Her attraction multiplied with every passing second as she brought herself forward to free him out of his boxers too, all happening in a matter of seconds, given the desperate need. Lewis pushed her to the bed again as he lined himself at her entrance. Waves of bliss washed over her as she waited for him to push in. But when does that cheeky bastard ever do things she expects him to do? He pushed only the head in and looked up into her eyes. Judging by the expression of gratitude she swore, he pushed himself all the way in without hesitation. He started moving right away as she raised her hips to meet his, moving in his rhythm. His thrusts were slow and passionate, and he let her feel every inch of him. Oh! Okay, well, that's gonna be it. Alright, well, I just fell, and that's fucking bad.
Well, you do one more.
Alright, well, we're gonna do one more, and hopefully, but here's all the spit.
Okay. Zane, I screamed, stop, Zane, ow, Zane, please. Oh, babe, but your pussy's too tight, as he said as he stuffed 2 fingers into Lisa's. Just as he gained access, he bent down on his knees in front of me, his left hand still in my pussy. Sorry. He continued to assault my throbbing clit with a few desperate actions happening in his own pants, his members' tissues filling up with blood, causing a much-awaited erection of his thick and long girth. He continued to lick up and down and then avert his attention to my clit. But not once did he touch me with his calouse pad. One hand was busy rolling my nipples from over the part my Barney dress, the other kept my panty aside. Minutes that seemed to pass like hours, I felt myself close. I moaned out loudly and tightened my grip on Zane's hair to convey and ask him to keep going, but much to my dismay he stopped and stood up and eye-leveled me. I expected him to say something that he wasn't going to let me finish. Because of the teasing he did, the next knocked the breath out of me. In a surprise, he slammed his full length into me. At once, I gasped for air and flung my arms to grip on to support. He started to move in and out of me immediately. His thrusts were hard and passionate, yet they managed to make me feel all of him. I didn't even realize when he flung his pants down or let his legs out, and I was pretty much still in a daze. He was still thrusting and pounding into me mercilessly, causing my high to approach really fast, and it did. My high hit me like a huge wave of pleasure, resulting me to writhe in pleasure while Zane unloaded in me in return. Once done, he collapsed on me, crushing me with his weight. He buried his face in the crook of my neck, and I felt him mumble eerily, not being able to put any sense into it. I raised his face level mine by fisting his curls. You survived it. Can I see your cup? Oh. That's what you did. Wow! Holy fuck, that's the coldest picture! Get off your computer! I got all over my computer! Okay, well, that was that challenge, and I hope you liked it. Okay, bye. I just got home. Okay. By the way, penis, it's all over the screen. Okay, bye.